Here we go. Okay, and let me turn the camera around. Hallelujah. Okay, saints, so here you go. Feel free to take a screenshot, okay? Pray about everything. Remember, this is not financial advice, and I did not imagine this. I'm not telling you this from me. This is what God showed me. God, okay? God, not me. Imagine we have to remind ourselves. So on July 20th, 2025, I had spiritual intel about Bitcoin. While asleep early morning, okay, still asleep, saints, I heard Bitcoin crash. Okay, now, saints, I'll talk to you about that in a second. I know some of you are going to be like, wait a minute, but this person said this and this person. I know. I'll explain it in a second. I heard Bitcoin crash. I then had the awareness. Okay, this is not a word. This is not what I heard. It's not what I felt. I just had an awareness of the price point of 93K. But then I had a very strange thing. Even though I heard Bitcoin crash, and I was aware suddenly of 93K in my spirit, at the same time I saw the price of 79K. This is all very, very weird, saints, okay? I'll admit it's very, very weird, okay? And so, turning the camera back around, give me a second. I'm all over the place. By the way, this is the microphone, okay? Some people ask me, what is that thing on your shirt? It's the microphone. Okay. So what I heard was Bitcoin crash. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Brother, that's not what God told Manuel Johnson. Guess what my answer is? I know. Weird, huh? Okay. So at least I don't have an immature response like immature Christians who are like, false this and false that. You start accusing people simply because you hear something different. Like, grow up. Seriously, Christians, grow up. Okay, so I released a YouTube short on July 22nd. Well, that was yesterday. And I entitled it Bitcoin Crash ? And in this specific YouTube short, the Lord literally told Manny, no Bitcoin crash. Okay? So I'm telling you what God told Manny. Now, I'm asking myself, why did I hear Bitcoin crash? Okay? Now, I have a theory. I have a thought as to why I heard something that appears, but I do not believe it is contradictory. No. I believe, okay, this is just my thought. I'm entitled to have my opinion, just like many of you are, okay? And I'm very clear when I tell you something is what I think or something is what I know, okay? This is something I think. When the Lord told Manny about Bitcoin crash and the Lord saying, no, there will not be a Bitcoin crash, it is my opinion that God was speaking about those who are saying that Bitcoin will, go crash basically completely, basically to like nothing or super, super low. Okay. That's how I think, that's how I feel about what the Lord was addressing. Now, of course, there is the line of thinking that says, well, technically a crash is considered, I don't know what it is, like a 10% drop in a day in 24 hours or a 20% drop. I don't know the technical. Okay, so there's possible line of thinking. Like, we have to ask ourselves, okay, well, is the Lord speaking by the Spirit, of course, because he's a spirit, God is spirit. John chapter 4. Is he speaking along the lines of the natural, what the world references? Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Okay, it depends on the person receiving it. So me hearing Bitcoin crash, the way and then having an awareness of 93K, okay, when it's at 118 right now, 118,000. And then I see spiritually at the same time 79K, which is, I admit, it's weird. Like, I don't know what to think of that. What I believe is that the way the Lord spoke it to me, Bitcoin crash, I believe the Lord is sharing that there will be a I would say significant drop in the price. Okay. Is it going to hit 93K and then hit 79K, it could be that the Lord is saying, communicating that, but he didn't say that to me specifically or explicitly. Okay. And then of course there's that 72K. I don't know if it was a vision or I heard or saw, but it was spiritual intel from the Lord that I had a couple months earlier in the year, 2025. So I don't specifically know, what the Lord's doing here, but okay. But this is still me along the lines of just expressing my thoughts. Okay. And I think many of you appreciate me being authentic. Well, that's just how I am in my nature. I don't like being fake. I hate it when other people are fake. Like, I don't want to be around that. Well, guess why? Because the one who is truth lives inside of me, and I love him, and I love truth. Therefore, I do not resonate with those who walk the other way and are fake. I don't like that, okay? So I don't want to be like that because I don't want to be a hypocrite. That's another thing I hate, hypocrisy. So I don't want that in me because I would hate that. So, all this to say that this is quite possible because many have been shown XRP drop in price. Many have seen Bitcoin drop in price, and so forth. So if Bitcoin is the king, okay, the number one of all, and basically the way it shifts kind of moves the rest of them. Okay, here's Bitcoin. Okay, now let's talk about Ethereum for a second. Ethereum, ETH or ETH, is kind of like the, never really thought of it, but maybe kind of like the mother. Okay, Bitcoin is kind of like the father. This is on the fly, guys. I don't even know if it's going to make sense. ETH is like the mother. When Bitcoin moves the father, everything else kind of shifts in the same type of way. But when the mother, I don't know if I'm going to go with this. This might be a one-time revelation. When Ethereum moves the other altcoins, that means every coin underneath, okay, every coin except Bitcoin, shifts when Ethereum shifts. And so for us to hear, now I'm sharing, I guess you could say, common sense thinking, dare I say wisdom from the Lord, just through common sense, okay, not financial advice. If we are being shown that XRP will drop and XLM will drop, since those coins and others follow the movement from Ethereum, then we can deduce by deductive reasoning that therefore Ethereum will also have to drop. And again, I'm not an expert in technical analysis and everything in the market. I'm still kind of new, but from what I've learned, if Ethereum is going to drop, well, that means it's that the mother token has been affected by the father, Bitcoin. So it kind of all makes sense. We just don't know when. I do believe it's very, very soon, weeks to months. If I had to take a, kind of general guess, okay, not prophesying, general guess, that's what I would think. Okay, so anyway, video has gone long enough, but there you go. That's what I shared. Let me know your thoughts.